So cloud is one that's been. The second is a big trend is the split between U.S. and China.
오늘은 스톰벤처스의 남태희 대표님을 모시고 앞으로 산업은 어떻게 변할지, 특히 클라우드 컴퓨팅이 어떻게 바뀔지, 비즈니스 모델은 어떻게 우리가 펀더멘털리 체인징 하는지 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
예.
So my name is Tae Nam. I was born in Korea and we immigrated to the United States when I was 5 years old. Grew up in St. Louis and went to college at Harvard, law school at University of Chicago, and then have been out here in Silicon Valley since.
Yeah. Stombenchers have been there for I think quite a long time. So I think how is the plan to office?
Right. So, our office has been shut down since March with the shutdown. And we've been working basically as a distributed office over video. And our lease is going to expire in October. And we decided to make the bold step and not renew our lease. First, we'll have no office.
No office?
Yes. And we're going to really experience firsthand what it's like to be a distributed workforce. Right. To me, distributed office is a broader way of how to work than just work from home. Work from home is a specific example of that. Of our 65 companies, 4 of them were already working distributed before the COVID. They just had no office. And they were working. So what we plan to do after our lease expires is try to get the best of both worlds, in personal interaction and also allowing people the freedom to work distributed. And so what we plan to do is every Monday from, let's say, 11 to 4 o'clock, we'll reserve a restaurant and have our typical Monday meetings there, where we talk about new investments, review the portfolio, get together for lunch. We'll just do it at a restaurant instead of at the office. And then the rest of the time, we're usually not in the office. We're meeting startups or other VCs, so we'll continue to do that. And our meetings with startups, we imagine every first meeting will be over video anyway. So we'll have fewer meetings we expect in the office. So that's our plan. It may fail, but we'll try it for about 6 months to a year and just see how it goes.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think people want the social interaction, but they also want to avoid the traffic.
All right.
So people, especially in the Bay Area, commuting can be horrible. And so this is where I think we get the best of both worlds, is by having meetings on Monday from 11 to 4, people can avoid traffic and still have that intensive social interaction that we have now. But other days, they will have the freedom to work at home or to meet other people and so forth. So they would have that freedom, which people like the flexibility. And then we'll probably have 1 or 2 other meetings like Wednesday or Friday lunch or drinks that are optional that people can go for that social interaction. So our plan is to try to do both, provide the flexibility of distributed and the social interaction of having an office.
Yeah.
I think the difference between us and maybe a Netflix is that so much of our work is outside the office anyway. Attending conferences, meeting entrepreneurs or VCs, and many of these meetings are over coffee, breakfast or lunch. Like many of our meetings outside. Are probably over breakfast or lunch than in a conference room. So I think our business is sort of ideally suited to this. Well, I think everyone's lease expires at a different time. Ours tends to be just timed with COVID, so I think they'll be watching us.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Right. So 2 things is that first, when COVID hit, we deliberately said we should not slow down investing. So we wanted to just continuing as fast as we did before COVID, during COVID, because we made the mistake during other slowdowns to slow down. So we maintained the pace. And so we've done like 4 new investments during COVID, where we haven't met the person. And it's worked out pretty well. And I think the big change for us before COVID is that more than half our investments are outside the Bay Area before COVID. And so as a result, we started building processes and comfort where we could work even if we don't meet the people face to face. Yeah, so I think the pandemic has accelerated 2 trends. These were trends that were happening before the pandemic, but the pandemic has just caused these 2 trends to go into super hyperdrive. One trend is cloud adoption, and cloud adoption drives Snowflake, it drives the SaaS business model and others, but the migration to the cloud to support digital transformation, to support distributed office. Like, we could not contemplate being a distributed office if we didn't have cloud. So the IT infrastructure that supports distributed office working from home is cloud. And so cloud is one that's been, the second is a big trend is the split between US and China. You know, that's a big political trend, but it was happening with the trade war and everything. And what the pandemic has done is cause that split to get even wider. So that's the 2 trends that I see are big trends are cloud, that impact me personally, are cloud adoption and US-China relationship. And what COVID has done is just made both, accelerated both trends. Artificial intelligence is a critical element, but to me, I just look at that as sort of part of the cloud. In a sense, if you use the cloud, then you're putting all your data in one place. And the cloud provides all this sort of free technology, including AI, for free. So if all your data is in one place, you have these free AI tools and then easy to use compute, it makes AI very easy to. It's a huge thing. I mean, I think the cloud has basically accelerated Zoom's revenues by 7 years. So in other words, what I mean by that is that if you look at Zoom, they were growing like this. Cloud happens and they're growing up. So if cloud, they're at a level now that they should be like 7 years from now. I'll give you an example as at TalkDesk. I mean, TalkDesk won a huge customer, Disney. And the reason is that Disney has a call center of 10,000 agents that were working in an office, but because of COVID, they need to work at home. They can't work at the office anymore, but they still need to run a call center, right? And so their existing software could not support that change. With TalkDesk cloud-based system, they could make that change in 24 hours. Cloud offers that flexibility.